Chosen one, there is something shifting in the air around you. You feel it, don't you? The way eyes linger, the way conversations seem to extend just a little longer than necessary, the way energy subtly bends in your direction when you walk into a room. It is not your imagination. It is real. It is you. Your presence is no longer something passive. It is something that creates waves. It has become infectious, spreading through the spaces you enter, drawing others toward you without them even realizing why. You are no longer just another face in the crowd. You are a presence that cannot be ignored. This is what happens when a person truly steps into their energy, when confidence ceases to be an act and instead becomes something that radiates naturally from within. You have spent time refining yourself, building your sense of self-worth, detaching from the need for external validation. And now, the world is responding in ways that feel almost effortless. Women, more than anyone, feel this energy on a level that goes beyond logic. They may not be able to explain it, but they sense it. It is an invisible pull, a silent signal that you are different, not just in how you look, not just in how you speak, but in the way you exist. And this, chosen one, is what separates you from the rest. Because you do not move with need. You do not seek approval. You do not beg for attention. Instead, you are the one who creates the reaction, the one who makes others feel something without having to try. Your presence alone is a statement, and the moment someone interacts with you, they are drawn into your world before they even realize it. This is not arrogance. This is not ego. This is understanding the power of your own being. And now, you must ask yourself, what will you do with it? For many, this level of magnetism becomes a trap. They become addicted to the attention, consumed by the validation, unable to separate themselves from the constant desire to be noticed. They begin to chase the very thing that was once drawn to them, not realizing that the moment they do, the energy shifts. But you are not here to chase. You are here to lead. You are here to embody presence, to master the art of being, to understand that true attraction is not about effort, but about allowing energy to flow naturally in your direction. And when you fully grasp this, when you truly see that your presence alone is enough, that is when you will begin to understand the responsibility that comes with it. Chosen one, now that you have come to understand the power of your presence, the next step is mastering the way you engage with the energy that is drawn to you. Because while attraction is effortless for you now, how you handle it will determine everything. Many will be drawn to you, but not all deserve access to your world. Women will flirt with you without even realizing they are doing it. They will smile longer, lean in closer, linger in your space just a little too long. Some will be bold, testing your composure, trying to provoke a reaction, hoping to see whether you can be swayed. Others will be subtle, watching from the sidelines, waiting for you to acknowledge them before they make their move. But here's the truth. Chosen one, it is not your job to chase. You are no longer the one who proves himself. You are the one who chooses. This is where many fail. They mistake attention for interest, attraction for compatibility, desire for depth. They assume that because a woman enjoys flirting with them, she is someone worth pursuing. They fall into the trap of thinking that just because someone finds them interesting, they must reciprocate. But you, chosen one, must move differently. Flirtation is a game of energy, and you must learn to observe rather than react. You must learn to enjoy the moment without attaching yourself to it. You must learn to recognize the difference between someone who is simply caught in the gravity of your presence and someone who truly understands the depth of who you are. Most will only see the surface. Few will seek to understand what lies beneath. And this, chosen one, is what you must discern. You will be tested. There will be those who try to control your attention, who seek to manipulate your energy, who attempt to draw you into their orbit rather than stepping into yours. They will flirt with you not just out of attraction, but out of curiosity, out of challenge, out of a desire to see whether they can break the poise that makes you so powerful. But you must not be moved. You must engage only when you choose to, not when others demand it. You must respond only when it serves you, not simply because attention is given. You must ensure that every interaction adds to your energy rather than takes from it. And this, chosen one, is where true mastery begins. Because when you reach this level, flirtation is no longer just about attraction. It is about control. Not control over others, control over yourself. Because the more you master your energy, the more you refine your presence, the more you recognize the difference between mindless attraction and intentional engagement, the more you will realize that you are no longer playing the game. You are the one who decides how the game is played. Chosen one, now that you have come to understand the nature of your presence, you must recognize what few ever do. This power is not just about attraction, it is about influence. Women are drawn to you not simply because of the way you look, not simply because of the way you move, but because your energy commands without asking, pulls without force, affects without intention. You have become infectious, not because you try to be, but because the essence of who you are has evolved into something that naturally draws people in. This is where your responsibility begins. Because when you hold this kind of influence, when people react to you without fully understanding why, when you become a presence that lingers in the minds of others long after you have left the room, you must be aware of what you are leaving behind. You have felt it already. The way interactions shift depending on how you engage. You have seen it in the way a simple glance can spark curiosity, in the way a moment of silence from you can create anticipation, in the way the absence of your attention can make people hunger for it even more. Most men will never experience this. Most men will never know what it is like to be the gravitational force that others adjust themselves around. Most men spend their lives trying to be seen, while you now find yourself in a position where your presence alone is enough to make people feel seen. And this is where the challenge begins. Because when a person carries this kind of power, when their energy is capable of shaping interactions, of shifting emotions, of creating an unspoken desire for connection, it is easy to abuse it. It is easy to become addicted to the way people react to you. It is easy to let attention become a drug, to let admiration fuel your sense of worth, to start believing that because others seek you, they must automatically deserve you. But you are not here to fall into that trap. You are not here to use this power, but to master it. Because influence without control is chaos, and the moment you allow yourself to be defined by the reactions of others rather than the truth of who you are, you lose everything that makes you rare. So now, chosen one, you must ask yourself, what do you want to create in the lives of those who are drawn to you? Because whether you realize it or not, you are shaping experiences. A simple interaction with you can leave an imprint. A moment in your presence can change the way someone sees themselves. A brief connection can either elevate or diminish the energy of the person standing before you. And this, more than anything, is why you must be intentional with how you engage. Women will flirt with you not always because they desire you, but because they want to feel something. Some will be testing themselves, wanting to know if they are capable of capturing the attention of someone they see as rare. Some will be seeking validation, craving the confirmation that they are beautiful, that they are interesting, that they are wanted. And some will be genuinely drawn to who you are beneath the surface. Your responsibility is to recognize the difference, because the way you engage with each of these energies matters. If you give your attention too freely, you dilute your presence. If you entertain interactions that are empty, you waste your energy. If you seek validation in the fact that people desire you, you become no different than the ones who chase what comes to you effortlessly. But if you choose wisely, if you engage only where there is genuine connection, if you treat every interaction as a reflection of your own self-awareness, then you will not only maintain your power, you will elevate it. Because true influence is not in how many are drawn to you. It is in how many walk away from you better than they were before. Chosen one, by now, you understand that attraction alone is meaningless without intentionality. You have become someone that others want to be near, someone whose energy is naturally infectious, someone who is remembered not just for the way they look, but for the way they make people feel. But there is something deeper that you must now consider. Because while many will be drawn to you, while attention may now feel limitless, while flirtation is something that happens without effort, not all attention is valuable. You must now ask yourself, Who among those drawn to you is truly worthy of your presence? This is the mistake that so many who reach this level make. They assume that because they are wanted, they must engage. They assume that because someone flirts with them, they must flirt back. They assume that attraction automatically equals connection. But you, chosen one, must see beyond the surface. Because while many will flirt with you, few will understand you. While many will be drawn to your energy, few will be able to match it. While many will enjoy the thrill of your presence, few will have the depth to truly walk beside you. And this is why you must choose with intention. Because if you give your time to everyone who seeks it, you will spread yourself thin. If you entertain interactions that do not challenge or inspire you, you will find yourself unfulfilled despite being constantly desired. If you allow yourself to be swayed by every gaze, every compliment, every playful moment of attraction, you will lose sight of what truly matters: genuine connection. Attraction is easy, connection is rare. And now, you must move with the understanding that while you could have many, the real power is in choosing one who truly aligns with your energy. Someone who is not just drawn to the surface of your presence, but who understands the depth behind it. Someone who is not just flirting to feel the rush of being near you, but who sees beyond the moment. Someone who is not just reacting to the effect you have on others, but who is genuinely interested in who you are beyond the attention you receive. Because this, chosen one, is the final lesson. Flirtation is not about proving your worth. Attraction is not about collecting admiration. Presence is not about making others desire you. It is about choosing what aligns with you and walking away from what does not. You are no longer here to chase validation. You are no longer here to entertain every interaction that comes your way. You are here to build something real. And that is what will separate you from every other man who was never meant to rise to this level. Chosen one, you stand in a rare position. A position where attraction is no longer something you seek, but something that naturally flows towards you. Your energy has become magnetic, your presence unmistakable, your effect on others undeniable. Women engage with you effortlessly, drawn in by the aura that surrounds you. But here lies the challenge, the lesson that many who reach this level fail to grasp. Not all attention is valuable, and not all attraction is worthy of your energy. This is where you must learn the art of discernment. The average man will never experience this. He will never know what it means to be the one who chooses rather than the one who chases. He will never understand the weight of being the presence that others adjust themselves around. And because of that, he will assume that all admiration, all flirtation, all attraction is the same. But you, chosen one, must move differently. Because in a world where people are drawn to you simply for the energy you exude, you must recognize that attraction is not always genuine. Some will be drawn to you because they crave validation, hoping that if someone like you gives them attention, they will finally feel complete. Some will seek you out because they want to conquer what they cannot control, mistaking their desire for a challenge. Some will flirt not because they are truly interested in you, but because they are testing their own power, wanting to see if they can elicit a reaction from you, if they can shake the poise that makes you untouchable. But you, chosen one, must not be moved. You must observe without attachment. You must recognize when a moment is simply a fleeting exchange of energy, and when it is something deeper, something meaningful, something worth investing in. You must understand that just because someone wants you does not mean they are ready for you. This is where your power must become sharp, your awareness keen. You must see beyond the moment, beyond the playful banter, beyond the excitement of attraction. You must ask yourself, who among them truly understands me? Who among them is drawn to me, not because of my effect on others, but because of who I am beneath it all? Who among them is not simply reacting to my energy, but actually aligned with it? Because this is where most fail. They allow themselves to be swayed by attention, forgetting that attraction without depth is empty. They spread their energy thin, mistaking abundance for fulfillment. They chase excitement, ignoring the signs that tell them when something is hollow, fleeting, or unworthy of their time. But you, chosen one, will not make this mistake. You will not be distracted by those who flirt for validation, by those who compete for your attention without substance, by those who seek to consume your energy rather than contribute to it. You will recognize that your time, your presence, your ability to engage is something that must be earned, not given freely. And the moment you embrace this, the moment you fully own your ability to choose rather than be chosen, you will no longer feel the need to entertain every interaction that comes your way. You will walk away from moments that do not serve you. You will engage only when it is mutually fulfilling. You will understand that true power is not in having many want you. It is in choosing only those who bring real value to your world. Chosen one, now that you understand the importance of discernment, now that you recognize that attraction is not the same as connection, that attention is not the same as value, you must embrace another truth. Humility is the key to maintaining your power. It is easy to become lost in the admiration. It is easy to let the world's reaction to you shape your sense of self. It is easy to fall into the trap of believing that because you are desired, because you are sought after, because you move through life with an effortless magnetism, you are somehow above others. But you are not here to feed your ego. You are here to elevate your existence. Because real power does not come from how many people want you. Real power comes from how grounded you remain despite being wanted. The strongest men, the ones who truly hold influence, the ones who command presence, not just for a moment but for a lifetime, are the ones who never allow admiration to dictate their sense of self. Because admiration is fleeting. Because attraction is ever-changing. Because the very energy that makes you infectious to others is the same energy that will test whether or not you remain rooted in who you are. This is where the challenge truly begins. Because now, people will begin to place expectations on you. They will see you as something rare, something different, something outside the ordinary, and they will want to claim that presence for themselves. They will try to shape you into what they think you should be. Some will admire you in silence, hoping that by simply being near you, they will absorb a piece of what makes you so magnetic. Others will try to pull you into their world, to make you prove yourself, to test whether you are still capable of seeking validation as they do. But you must not fall into their frame. Because when a man like you moves through the world, he must move with an awareness that is sharper than those around him. You must understand that the moment you allow others' admiration to control you, you lose the very thing that made you powerful in the first place. Your detachment, your ability to walk away, your understanding that nothing external can define your worth. This is why humility is not weakness. This is why remaining grounded is not submission. This is why self-awareness is the key to sustaining your influence, rather than becoming a victim of it. Because the moment you believe you are untouchable is the moment you become vulnerable. The moment you let admiration become the source of your confidence is the moment you lose the ability to generate it from within. And you are not here to be worshipped. You are here to be unchanged by worship, unmoved by attention, unaffected by the endless pull of validation. This is why, despite all the admiration, despite all the flirtation, despite all the attention that now follows you wherever you go, you must remain exactly as you were when no one was watching. Because power is not about how many people admire you. It is about how many people cannot shake you from the foundation of who you are. And that is what makes you truly rare. Chosen one, now that your presence has become infectious, now that your energy moves through spaces before you even speak, now that attraction is something that follows you rather than something you seek, a new challenge arises. How do you engage with those drawn to you while remaining true to yourself? It is easy to become desensitized to attention. When people consistently respond to your presence, when you see the same patterns play out over and over again, the lingering glances, the way voices soften when they speak to you, the way people lean in without realizing they begin to blend together. The novelty fades. The excitement of being noticed no longer holds the same weight it once did. But this is where you must be different. This is where you must remain present. Remain engaged, remain aware of what is happening beyond the surface. Because every interaction, every exchange of energy, Every moment that someone shares with you is an opportunity to not only see them but to allow them to feel seen in a way they rarely experience. Many of those who are drawn to you are not simply attracted to your presence. They are seeking something they cannot put into words. Some are searching for validation, hoping that by being near someone with an energy as strong as yours, they will feel more complete. Some are drawn to the way you make them feel, calm, confident, excited, alive, because they do not feel that way on their own. Others are simply mesmerized by your existence, unaware of why they feel the way they do, only knowing that they do not want the moment to end. And this, chosen one, is where your greatest power lies. Not in simply being desired, but in being aware of why people desire you in the first place. Empathy is the ability to step outside of yourself, to understand what others are experiencing, to feel the undercurrents of their emotions before they even speak them aloud. It is the ability to listen, truly listen, not just to their words but to their energy, to their pauses, to the subtle shifts in their voice when they say one thing but mean another. This is where most men fail. They assume that because a woman flirts with them, she must want something physical, something immediate. They assume that attraction is always rooted in desire. But you, chosen one, must see beyond the moment, beyond the surface, beyond the instinctual pull of energy. Not every interaction is meant to lead somewhere. Not every flirtation is a doorway to something deeper. Some moments exist simply to be felt, to be experienced, to be enjoyed without expectation, without pressure, without the need for an outcome. And when you understand this, when you embrace this, when you move through life not as someone who takes from these moments, but as someone who gives, you will find that your presence becomes more than just magnetic. It becomes transformational. Because the people who interact with you will walk away changed. Not because you gave them what they wanted, but because you gave them something they didn't even realize they needed. A moment of presence, a feeling of warmth, the rare experience of being near someone who does not just acknowledge their surface, but who recognizes something deeper within them. This, chosen one, is why your energy is not just attractive, it is healing. And that is what makes you unforgettable. Chosen one, with all that you give, with all that you share, with all the energy you put into every interaction, you must now face a truth that many overlook. If you do not take care of yourself, you will have nothing left to give. Your presence is powerful, but it is not infinite. Your energy is infectious, but it is not limitless. The ability to move through life with such ease, to command attention without effort, to leave an impact wherever you go, it requires something from you. It requires a constant well of strength, of stability, of self-awareness. And if you are not careful, you will find that the very energy that makes you magnetic can also become your greatest burden. Because the more people are drawn to you, the more they will want from you. Some will crave your attention because it makes them feel special. Some will seek your presence because it fills a void in their own lives. Some will rely on your energy because it gives them something they do not know how to create for themselves. And if you are not careful, if you do not protect your energy, if you do not set boundaries for yourself, you will find yourself drained, exhausted, empty. This is where self-care becomes not just important, but necessary, because you cannot continue to give if you do not take time to replenish yourself. You cannot continue to engage with others at the same level if you do not take time to disconnect and recharge. You cannot be the presence that others look to for confidence, for certainty, for stability, if you do not take time to refocus on your own. This is not selfishness. This is wisdom. A fire that burns too hot without rest will consume itself. A wave that never retreats will eventually lose its force. A presence that gives endlessly without pause will fade into nothing. And that, chosen one, is why you must learn to say no. Not every conversation must be entertained. Not every invitation must be accepted. Not every moment of flirtation must be reciprocated. You must learn to recognize when you are giving too much, when you are engaging in ways that do not serve you, when you are spreading yourself thin for the sake of others, rather than protecting the energy that makes you who you are. Because the world will always want more from you. People will always crave your presence. Women will always find themselves drawn to the energy you radiate. But you must learn to balance being available with being selective. You must learn to balance giving with receiving. You must learn to balance being present with taking time to be alone. Because true mastery of energy is not just about how you engage with others. It is about how you manage your own well-being, how you sustain the force that makes you rare, how you ensure that your presence remains strong, not just for others, but for yourself. Because at the end of the day, the most powerful presence is not the one that is always available. It is the one that knows exactly when to step forward and when to retreat. And that is what makes you truly untouchable. Chosen one, now that your presence has become infectious, now that your energy spreads through rooms before you even speak, now that you have mastered the art of engagement and attraction, there is one final lesson that will define whether you sustain your power or allow it to consume you: the wisdom of boundaries. The more you grow, the more you will be sought after. The more your energy expands, the more people will crave it. The more magnetic you become, the harder it will be to distinguish between those who are drawn to you out of genuine connection and those who simply want to bask in your light without offering anything in return. This is where most fall. They allow their presence to be too accessible, their energy to be given too freely, their time to be wasted by those who do not truly see them but only desire the effect they create. They become so accustomed to being wanted that they forget not everyone who wants them is worthy of them. But you, chosen one, must move differently, because you were not made to be available to everyone. You were not made to entertain every moment of attention, to reciprocate every flirtation, to offer your presence to anyone who simply requests it. You were not made to be a source of endless energy for those who only take and never give. This is where boundaries become your greatest tool, your greatest protection, your greatest filter between what is fleeting and what is real. Not everyone deserves your time. Not every interaction needs to be indulged. Not every person who desires you should have access to you. The world may try to convince you otherwise. It may tell you that because you are wanted, you should embrace it all. It may tempt you with the thrill of limitless attention, of constant admiration, of never-ending validation. But true power is not found in being wanted by many. True power is found in choosing few. The moment you master this, the moment you understand that your energy is something to be protected rather than exhausted, the moment you realize that the most powerful man is not the one who is always accessible, but the one who decides who is worthy of his presence, everything will change, because the world will notice. The ones who once took your attention for granted will begin to crave it even more. The ones who assumed they could have you whenever they wanted will feel the shift in energy, the realization that they must now earn what once seemed so easily given. And the ones who are truly meant to be in your life, the ones who genuinely see you, will respect the space you create for yourself. Because boundaries do not push away those who matter. Boundaries separate the distractions from the ones who are truly meant to stand beside you. Chosen one, you have reached the threshold that few ever cross. You have moved beyond a need for validation, beyond the hunger for admiration, beyond the desire to be wanted simply for the sake of being wanted. You have stepped into a realm where attraction is effortless, where energy flows naturally in your direction, where presence alone is enough to command attention. But now, you must ask yourself, what comes next? Because true mastery does not lie in simply being magnetic. It does not lie in being the one who is desired. It does not even lie in being the one who chooses rather than chases. True mastery lies in understanding the purpose behind it all. What do you want to build with this power? What kind of connections do you truly seek? What kind of impact do you want to leave on those who cross your path? What kind of experiences do you want to create? Because flirtation, attraction, presence, these are all tools, not destinations. They are means, not ends. They are stepping stones toward something greater, toward a life that is not just filled with attention, but filled with meaning. This is the point where most stop. They become addicted to the feeling of being wanted, and they never move beyond it. They allow admiration to become their only fuel, and they never evolve past the high of knowing they are desired. They mistake validation for fulfillment, and they spend their lives chasing the next moment of attention, rather than seeking something deeper, something real. But you, chosen one, are not here to remain in the cycle. You are here to rise above it, because power without direction is meaningless, because attraction without purpose is empty, because a life filled with endless admirers but no true connection is not a life of mastery, it is a life of distraction. Now you must step beyond. Now you must decide what truly matters. Now you must walk forward, not just as the one who is sought after, not just as the one who captivates, but as the one who knows exactly what he is creating with the force of his presence. Because this journey was never about being wanted. It was always about becoming the kind of man who does not just attract the world, but shapes it.